On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Climate.
The weather in a particular location averaged over some long period.
Examples:
A cold climate. Effects of climate change. Climate and weather have an impact on every part of our lifestyles.
Environmentalist.
A person who is concerned with and advocates for the protection of the natural environment.
Examples:
Dedicated environmentalist. An environmentalist political party. The environmentalist lobby changed the mindset of many conservative politicians.
Hike.
A long walk or journey, especially for pleasure or exercise, an increase in cost.
Examples:
Go on a hike. A hike in prices. The family decided to hike in the mountains to enjoy the beautiful scenery.
Pet.
An animal that you have at home as a companion and treated kindly.
Examples:
A pet bird. A teacher's pet. I have a parrot as a pet.
Modern.
Of or belonging to the present time or recent times.
Examples:
Modern poetry. Pre-modern agricultural society. Their headquarters are in a modern skyscraper.
Fortress.
A large and strongly built structure, typically with high walls and a moat, used as a military defense or for protection against attackers.
Examples:
Fortress wall. Military fortress. The ancient fortress was built on a hill to give the defenders a strategic advantage.
Complacent.
Satisfied with the status quo and not wishing to make changes.
Examples:
Complacent attitude. Complacent with past successes. He became complacent in his job and stopped trying to improve.
Delude.
To deceive or mislead someone, to give a false impression of something.
Examples:
Delude with false promises. Delude the public. It is easy to delude yourself into thinking everything is fine when it's not.
Threat.
A strong indication or likelihood of harm, danger, or adverse consequences, an expression of intent to inflict harm or injury on someone or something, often made as a means of coercion or intimidation.
Examples:
Economic threat. Environmental threat. The threat of severe weather prompted the city to issue an evacuation warning.
Distance.
The amount of space between 2 points, measured in units such as miles, meters, or kilometers, the extent, scope, or range between two things, such as distance or emotional distance.
Examples:
driving distance. Social distance. The marathon runner covered a long distance in a short amount of time.
Represent.
To speak, act, or be present on behalf of another person or group, to form or constitute.
Examples.
Represent by a diagram. The characters that represent numbers. We elected him to represent us at the international conference.
Modest.
Having or showing a humble estimate of one's merits, importance, etc., free from vanity, egotism, boastfulness, or great pretensions.
Examples.
Modest income. Only a modest fee. Despite his many achievements, he remained modest and down to earth.
Accord.
An official agreement or treaty between two organizations, countries, etc. Verb, allow to have.
Examples.
Accord with public opinion. By national accord. The organization finally signed a peace accord.
Degree.
A unit of measurement for angles, temperature, or level of proficiency or achievement, a rank or level of academic or professional attainment.
Examples.
Bachelor's degree. Degree centigrade. She received her degree in psychology from the university.
Depression.
A mental condition in which a person feels very unhappy and without hope for the future, a severe recession in an economy or market.
Examples.
The Great Depression. The root problem of her depression. Depression symptoms might include a decrease in appetite and weight loss.
Permanent.
Lasting for a long time without essential change.
Examples.
Literature of permanent value. Permanent life insurance. She is searching for a permanent residence.
Estimate.
To guess or calculate the cost, the size, value, etc. of something.
Examples.
Estimate of fair value. Estimate this chicken to weigh 3 pounds. We estimated the season's total trade deficit at $50 billion.
Livable.
Capable of being lived in comfortably and sustainably, suitable for human habitation.
Examples.
Livable city. Livable housing. Finding a safe and livable neighborhood is important when looking for a new place to live.
Heat stroke.
A serious and potentially life-threatening condition caused by prolonged exposure to high temperatures, which symptoms include high body temperature, rapid heartbeat, and confusion or loss of consciousness.
Examples.
Heat stroke symptoms. Heat stroke prevention. The hiker experienced a severe heat stroke after hiking in the desert for several hours without enough water.
Planet.
Any of the 9 large celestial bodies that circle in the solar system, any celestial body that revolves around a star.
Examples:
Planet like the Earth. Save the planet. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun.
Industrialize.
To organize the production of something into an industry.
Examples:
Industrialized service. Industrialized textile production. The nations of Southeast Asia will quickly industrialize and catch up with the West.
Entirely.
Completely.
Examples:
Entirely satisfied with the meal. He was entirely to blame. Later, his claim was found to be entirely false.
Temperature.
The degree of hotness or coldness of a thing or place.
Examples:
Extreme temperatures. The atmospheric temperature. Cities around the world set records for highest temperatures this summer.
Enclose.
To surround, as with a fence, wall, or barrier, to put within boundaries, to include.
Examples:
Enclose a check with a letter. Enclose area. The walls were enclosed to create a private outdoor space.
Evolution.
A gradual process of transformation of living things.
Examples:
Human evolution. Evolution theory. They study the evolution of the universe.
Develop.
To grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
Develop a strategy. Develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Agriculture.
The practice or science of cultivating the land or raising stock.
Examples:
Organic agriculture. Intensive agriculture. Agriculture is the foundation of our economy.
Rudimentary.
Relating to basic facts or principles, fundamental.
Examples:
A rudimentary plant. Rudimentary understanding. He has only a rudimentary knowledge of this topic.
Industrial.
Of or relating to or resulting from industry.
Examples:
Beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Industrial alcohol. Industrial design has become more focused on human nature aspect than ever before.
Biology.
The scientific study of life and the natural processes of living things.
Examples:
Evolutionary biology. Cell and molecular biology. In junior high school, we had to dissect a frog in biology class.
Creature.
A living being, especially an animal.
Examples:
Creature of habit. Artificial creature. The deep-sea creature was unlike anything the scientists had ever seen before.
Saga.
A long, detailed story or account of heroic deeds, family history, or notable events, often consisting of a series of connected episodes.
Examples:
Fantasy saga. Historical saga. The epic saga of the family's journey through time captivated readers worldwide.
Revolution.
A large-scale attempt to overthrow the government of a country, often using violence or war.
Examples:
Beginning of the Industrial Revolution. A political revolution. The revolution by the citizen resulted in a redistribution of wealth.
Mess.
A state of confusion, dirtiness, or untidiness. Verb, to fail to do something or to make something dirty or untidy.
Examples:
Have a whole mess. Get into a mess. He made a frightful mess in his room.
Grandparent.
A parent of one's father or mother.
Examples:
Great-grandparent. Person of grandparent age. She was close to her paternal grandparents and often spent summers with them.
Grandchild.
A child of someone's son or daughter.
Examples:
Grandchild-grandparent relationship. Grandchild development. The grandparents take care of their grandchild while the parents are at work.
Emission.
The act of production or sending out gas, heat, light, etc.
Examples:
Global emissions of greenhouse gases. The emission of light. There are 5 distinct emissions at 5 unique wavelengths.
Fossil.
Any preserved remains, impression, or trace of any once living thing that has become hard and turned into rock.
Examples:
Burning of fossil fuels. A fossil leaf. It was the fossil of a dinosaur tooth.
Fuel.
A substance that is typically burned to generate heat or energy.
Examples:
Biomass fuel. Smokeless fuel. The manufacturing sector was most severely impacted by the fuel scarcity.
Gore.
To pierce with a sharp object, causing injury or death. Noun, coagulated blood from a wound.
Examples:
Gore him with a weapon. Gore scene. The hunter gored the deer with an arrow.
Damage.
To harm or cause injury to something or someone, often resulting in decreased value or functionality. To impair or negatively affect something, such as a reputation or relationship. Noun, harm or injury that is caused to a person, thing, or entity.
Examples:
Damage a relationship. Damage assessment. During the surgery, the doctor had to be extremely cautious not to damage a blood vessel.
Millennium.
A span of 1,000 years, or the 1,000th anniversary, plural, millennia.
Examples:
Past millennium. Millennium bottle of wine. Our world is in the third millennium.
Stable.
Firm and steady, not easily moved, disturbed, or changed.
Examples:
In stable condition. Have a stable job. Relations between the two countries have been relatively stable due to the summit meeting.
Brink.
The point at which something is about to happen, the edge of a steep place.
Examples:
Brink of war. On the brink. We were on the brink of a financial crisis.
Catastrophe.
A sudden event that causes extreme ruin and misfortune.
Examples:
Catastrophe risk management. Avoid climate catastrophe. The lack of funds has resulted in a catastrophe for our university system.
Crisis.
A time of great disagreement, confusion, or danger when problems must be resolved or critical decisions must be taken.
Examples:
Financial crisis. Crisis management. The Chinese word for crisis comprises two characters, one for danger and the other for opportunity.
Ancestor.
A person from whom one is descended, a forefather.
Examples:
Ancestor language. Earliest human ancestor. My remote ancestor immigrated to the United States from Ireland in the 1800s.
Relative.
Considered and evaluated through comparison with something else.
Examples:
A remote relative. Relative factors. Most countries prohibit sexual activity between certain close relatives.
Terrifying.
Very frightening or intimidating.
Examples:
Terrifying experience. Terrifying events. Large earthquakes often generate terrifying tsunamis.
Exhilarating.
Making one feel very happy and lively, invigorating, providing a feeling of excitement or thrill.
Examples:
An exhilarating drink. Bungee jumping was an exhilarating experience that left me shaking with adrenaline.
Ultimate.
Furthest or highest in degree or order.
Examples:
The ultimate goal in life. The ultimate luxury. Management must take ultimate responsibility for the accident.
Hell.
The place thought to be where bad people go and are punished after death, often depicted as being located beneath the earth, an extraordinarily unpleasant or difficult place.
Examples:
Run like hell. Hell broke loose. The battlefield became hell on earth.
Scenario.
A description of possible actions or events in the future, a written outline of a play, film, or literary work.
Examples:
The worst case scenario. Number of different scenarios. The president prepared several possible scenarios for an enemy attack.
Obstacle.
A thing that blocks one's way or prevents or hinders progress.
Examples:
An obstacle to progress. Obstacle avoidance. The obstacle course was challenging but fun.
Enormous.
Extremely large or great.
Examples:
Enormous amount. Enormous potential. Shakespeare's output of poetry was enormous.
Carbon.
A chemical element that can be found in pure form as diamond or graphite, and it is also an essential part of coal and oil and is found in all plants and animals.
Examples:
Carbon dioxide. Carbon emission. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and give off oxygen.
Atmosphere.
The mass of air that surrounds the earth, the pervading tone or mood of a place, situation, or creative work.
Examples:
Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. A convivial atmosphere. The spaceship began to burn up as it approached the Earth's atmosphere.
Lever.
A handle used to operate a vehicle or a machine, a rigid bar resting on a pivot so that one end of it can be pushed or pulled easily.
Examples:
A gear change lever. Lever for reform. This initiative will be a lever for increasing company sales.
Inaction.
The lack of action or activity, the state of not doing anything, the failure to take action when action is needed.
Examples:
Excuse for inaction. Consequences of inaction. Inaction in response to climate change poses a dire threat to our future.
Recognize.
To acknowledge or realize something or someone, to identify, remember, or become aware of something that was previously known or encountered.
Examples:
Recognize talent. Recognize achievement. It's important to recognize your strengths and weaknesses.
Mythology.
A collection of myths equals traditional stories accepted as history, or the study of myths.
Examples:
Tale from mythology. Ancient mythology. He studies Greek and Roman mythology.
Theology.
The study of the nature of God and religious belief.
Examples:
Theology student. A college of theology. The professor specialized in the theology of the early church.
Doubt.
A feeling of being uncertain about something, especially about how good or accurate it is.
Examples:
Dispel doubts. No doubt about the news. Doubt is the start, not the end, of intelligence.
Array.
A large group or collection of things or people, especially one that is impressive or attractive.
Examples:
A two-dimensional array. An array of troops. The customer on the internet has to choose one from a formidable array of products.
Barnacle.
A type of crustacean that attaches itself to hard surfaces underwater, such as rocks, ships, or docks, a metaphorical term used to describe a person or object that is difficult to remove or separate from another person or object.
Examples:
Barnacle growth. Barnacle removal. The bottom of the boat was covered in barnacles, slowing its speed in the water.
Deploy.
To move troops or weapons into a position or military action, to bring into something in an effective way.
Examples:
Deploy troops for battle. Deploy safety measures. This country deployed its weapons in the East region.
Broad.
Very wide, general.
Examples:
Attract broad attention. A broad mind. He accumulated wealth across a broad spectrum of assets.
Sliver.
A small, thin, narrow piece or fragment of something, often characterized by its length or its sharpness or thinness, a small portion or amount of something, often used in a metaphorical sense to describe a trace or a hint of something.
Examples:
Sliver of wood. Sliver of metal. I had to be careful not to step on a sliver of glass on the floor.
Desert.
Arid land with little or no vegetation, often covered with sand or rocks.
Examples:
Desert basin. Oasis in the desert. This region is predominantly desert.
Absorb.
To take in a fluid or other substance gradually.
Examples:
Absorb energy. Absorb a shock. The sponge absorbs water well.
Grid.
A pattern of regularly spaced horizontal and vertical lines, a system of high-tension cables by which electrical power is distributed throughout a region.
Examples:
A grid design. A wire grid. Grid pattern roads often appear in urban areas.
Nuclear.
Of or relating to or constituting the nucleus of an atom, deriving destructive energy from the release of atomic energy.
Examples:
Nuclear fusion. Use of nuclear power. Many countries have now agreed to a treaty banning the use of nuclear weapons.
Competitive.
Involving competition or competitiveness.
Examples:
A competitive price. Competitive position. The mobile application industry is a competitive one.
Renewable.
Capable of being renewed, extended, or replaced.
Examples:
Renewable energy. Renewable subscriptions. The production of renewable fuels requires massive volumes of fresh water.
Practical.
Of or connected with actual use or real situation rather than with theory and ideas.
Examples:
Practical English. Gain practical experience. Her concept is highly practical and helpful.
Afford.
To have enough money or time to be able to buy or do something.
Examples:
Afford to buy a new car. Afford a high travel cost. He cannot afford a holiday.
Vegan.
A person who does not eat or use any animal products, typically for ethical or environmental reasons.
Examples:
Raw food vegan. Vegan lifestyle. The vegan diet is based on plant-based foods.
Tradition.
A belief, custom, or way of doing something that has been passed down from generation to generation within a group or society.
Examples:
A tradition of a culture. Against tradition. It is a tradition in many families to have a big Thanksgiving dinner with all their relatives.
Cattle.
Cows, bulls, and buffaloes that are raised for their milk or meat as farm animals.
Examples:
Cattle barn. Cattle hide. The cattle are on the grassland and grazing.
Sink.
To submerge or go down below the surface of a liquid or substance, to decline or deteriorate, to cause something to go down into a liquid substance or sink into something else.
Examples:
Sink a lot of capital. Sink a buzzer beater. The abandoned ship slowly began to sink into the murky waters of the harbor.
Prefer.
To like, choose, or want one thing or person better than another.
Examples:
Prefer physics to chemistry. Prefer a window seat. The birds prefer open water areas with reeds around them.
Techno.
A style of electronic dance music that originated in Detroit in the 1980s and is characterized by a repetitive, synthesized beat and minimalist sound effects, the use of advanced technology or techniques in a particular field.
Examples:
Technobeat, Techno Festival. The club's playlist featured a lot of techno music.
Lab.
A workplace for the conduct of scientific research, a laboratory.
Examples:
Lab instrument, medical lab. The Prime Minister will pay a courtesy visit to the Nobel laureate's lab.
Probable.
Likely to happen or likely to be true.
Examples:
Probable outcome, probable cause of a fire. It seems probable that he has forgotten our scheduled meeting.
Seaweed.
A plant that grows in the sea or on land very close to the sea, especially marine algae.
Examples:
Floating seaweed, seaweed broth. She soaked seaweed in water until tender.
Methane.
A chemical compound with the chemical formula CH4 with no smell or color, often used as a fuel.
Examples:
Atmospheric methane. Reduce methane emissions. The ignition of methane gas in the plant killed 5 employees.
Aspect.
One part or feature of a situation, problem, subject, etc.
Examples:
Non-technical aspects of the job. Aspects of social, political, and economic life. His professional experience includes all aspects of media production.
Puzzle.
A situation that is difficult to follow or solve, a game, problem, or toy that tests a person's ingenuity or knowledge. Verb, to cause someone to feel confused because of something difficult to understand.
Examples:
Crossword puzzle, mathematical puzzle. This jigsaw puzzle is challenging because there are no pictures.
Vast.
Enormous in size, number, amount, or quantity.
Examples:
Vast majority. Vast desert. A vast audience viewed the broadcast.
Complicated.
Involving a lot of different things or parts in a way that is difficult to understand or analyze.
Examples:
A complicated process. Become increasingly complicated. He did complicated pen and ink drawings in just a few days.
Bullet.
A metal projectile that is shot from a gun.
Examples:
Bullet wound. Bullet train. The stray bullet went through the window and hit the wall.
Decarbonize.
To stop or reduce emitting carbon gases, especially carbon dioxide, by replacing energy made from fossil fuels with renewable energy.
Examples:
Decarbonize their manufacturing process. Decarbonize its energy system. We have to seek methods to decarbonize its fossil fuel economy.
Mathematics.
The science dealing with the logic of quantities, shapes, spaces, and arrangement.
Examples:
A good grounding in mathematics. Mathematics competition. He has a flair for mathematics.
Negative.
Having the quality of something bad or harmful, expressing refusal.
Examples:
Have a negative effect. A negative number. The movie has received almost universally negative criticism.
Trillion.
The number 1 trillion, a million million.
Examples:
Trillion cubic feet. Many trillions of dollars. 1 light year is nearly 6 trillion miles.
Capture.
To catch a person or an animal and confine them in an area which they cannot escape.
Examples:
Capture a glimpse. Capture customers' hearts. I was able to capture the moment on film.
Industrious.
Hardworking, diligent, and persistent in effort.
Examples:
Industrious worker. Industrious student. He was known to be very industrious and would often work late into the night.
Undo.
To reverse the effect of an action or event, typically one that is recent or specific.
Examples:
Undo changes. Undo a belt. I accidentally deleted the file, so can you undo that action?
Infrastructure.
The basic systems, services, or features that are necessary for an organization or country, such as transport and power supplies.
Examples:
IT infrastructure. Infrastructure cost. Aging societies tend to require huge costs for infrastructure maintenance.
Cement.
Make fast as if with cement. Noun, a building material that is a powder made of a mixture of calcined limestone and clay, used with water, sand, and small stones to make concrete.
Examples:
Cement a close relationship. Cement blend. They are eager to cement a positive reputation.
Emit.
To give off or send out something such as light, heat, sound, gas, etc.
Examples:
emit a gamma ray, emit air pollution. During the unloading, the container box emits a clicking sound.
Seawall.
A barrier or structure made of concrete, stone, or other materials that are built along the coastline or riverbanks to protect against erosion, flooding, or waves. A structure that separates the water from the land and helps to preserve the shoreline.
Examples:
strong seawall, seawall construction. The beachfront property owners installed a seawall to protect their homes from the rising tides.
Levee.
An artificial embankment or wall built to prevent a river or low-lying land from flooding.
Examples:
levee protection, levee breach. The concrete levee protects from the rising river during floods.
Nationalist.
Relating to or supporting a political ideology that emphasizes a strong sense of national identity and devotion to one's own country.
Examples:
nationalist sentiment, nationalist revolt. The nationalist rally attracted thousands of supporters.
Geopolitical.
Of or relating to political activity or relations between countries and groups of countries, as influenced by the physical features of a country or area.
Examples:
the geopolitical situations. Reduce geopolitical risk. The country holds dominant geopolitical power over its neighbors.
Define.
To state or explain precisely the nature, scope, or meaning of something.
Examples:
define a word. Define my position. To advance this discussion, we must define success rigorously.
Suffer.
To experience pain, distress, or hardship, to undergo or endure something painful or unpleasant.
Examples:
suffer a setback. Suffer bad grades. The older man suffers from arthritis and finds it difficult to move around.
Insignificant.
Of little importance, influence, or power.
Examples:
insignificant amount. An insignificant mistake. He made me feel small and insignificant.
Acknowledge.
To accept or admit the existence, reality, or truth of something. To accept that someone or something has a particular authority or quality. To express obligation, thanks, or gratitude for someone's help, commitment, etc.
Examples:
acknowledge the deed. Acknowledge his help. He never acknowledged his fault.
Comfort.
A state of physical ease and freedom from pain or constraint.
Examples:
Words of comfort. Comfort level. He found comfort in the warm embrace of his loved ones.
Brutality.
The quality or state of being cruel or savage.
Examples:
Military brutality. Brutality against civilians. The protesters were outraged by the police brutality they witnessed at the demonstration.
Indifference.
A lack of interest, enthusiasm, or sympathy towards someone or something.
Examples:
Indifference to pain. General indifference. I tried to assume an air of indifference.
Alternative.
One of two or more available possibilities or choice.
Examples:
An alternative plan. There is no other alternative. Doctors are gradually coming around to the idea of using alternative medicines.
Poverty.
The condition of being extremely poor.
Examples:
Poverty alleviation. The cycle of poverty. Many studies have investigated the relationship between poverty and academic achievement.
Epidemic.
The widespread outbreak of a particular disease in a large number of people at the same time.
Examples:
A worldwide epidemic. Health epidemic. The disease is now reaching epidemic proportions in our country.
Disease.
A disorder or illness that affects the body or mind, often characterized by specific symptoms or abnormal functioning of organs or systems.
Examples:
Disease prevention. Disease control. The doctor diagnosed him with a rare disease that had no known cure.
Abuse.
The use of something in an incorrect or harmful manner.
Examples:
The problem of drug abuse. Victim of sexual abuse. Our company has an audit team that monitors directors for abuse of authority.
Overcome.
To succeed in controlling or dealing with something, such as a problem or difficulty, to defeat or overwhelm someone.
Examples:
Overcome opponents. Overcome all difficulties. He tried to overcome a bad reputation and win the election.
Economics.
The branch of social science that deals with the production, consumption, and transfer of goods and services.
Examples:
Welfare economics. Economics professor. His class will cover an introduction to agricultural economics.
Quo.
The existing state or condition of something, especially in relation to a particular situation or issue.
Examples:
Status quo politician. Quo warranto. The company has been successful in maintaining the status quo.
Bias.
A strong feeling in favor of or against one group of people, an idea, or thing, often not based on fair judgment.
Examples:
Bias against a big company. Have a bias towards socialism. She researched gender bias in politics.
Disinterest.
Lack of interest, concern, or involvement in a particular matter, impartiality or neutrality.
Examples:
Show disinterest. Disinterest in politics. The judge's disinterest in the case allowed for an impartial decision.
Scare.
To frighten a person or animal, or to become frightened.
Examples:
Scare off her attacker by screaming. Scare the birds away. We hit the ground to scare out the rabbits.
Short-sighted.
Lacking foresight or consideration for future consequences, not planning or preparing adequately for something that will happen in the future.
Examples:
Short-sighted decision. Short-sighted politician. His short-sighted approach to the situation cost him more in the long run.
Self-interest.
The fact or action of only considering their own interests and of not caring about others.
Examples:
Unaffected by self-interest. Material self-interest. The company's donation was undoubtedly motivated by self-interest.
Incentive.
Something, such as a punishment, reward, etc., that encourages a person to do something.
Examples:
Financial incentives. An incentive to work hard. They have no incentive to win the game.
Process.
A series of actions or operations performed to achieve a particular outcome or goal. A systematic procedure or approach used to accomplish a specific task or objective. A method of treating milk to make it suitable for consumption or use in other dairy products.
Examples:
Process improvement. Decision-making process. The process for applying for a visa can be lengthy and complicated.
Burden.
A duty, responsibility, etc. that is oppressive or worrisome, a load, typically a heavy one that is difficult to carry.
Examples:
Carry a burden. Burden of disease. That car has a low environmental burden.
Priority.
Something that is more important than other things and should be dealt with first.
Examples:
Priority call. Priority seating for elderly. Her priority is to be a mother.
Transform.
To change an outward structure or looks.
Examples:
Transform an education system. Transform heat into power. My father's death transformed my life completely.
Inevitable.
Certain to happen and unavoidable.
Examples:
Inevitable changes of the seasons. Inevitable result. In times of recession, an increase in unemployment is inevitable.
Addition.
The act or process of adding something to something else, the process of adding numbers.
Examples:
Chemical addition. Addition of vectors. In addition, private corporations provide healthcare services.
Dramatic.
Very sudden, very excellent, or full of action and excitement.
Examples:
Make dramatic changes. A dramatic rescue at sea. The statement had a dramatic impact on house prices.
Relation.
The way two persons or groups of people feel and act toward one another.
Examples:
Relation between cause and effect. Relation of inclusion. The industrial relations laws were passed with little to no alteration.
Prosperous.
Successful financially or materially, bringing success or good fortune.
Examples:
Prosperous weather. Prosperous nation. The company decided to invest in a prosperous industry.